Reminder to our listeners, today's podcast is presented by Spotify, podcast and music for every mood. I was down at Rogers Center recently chatting with your boy, San Diego Padres burgeoning ace, Chris Paddock, and he was telling me that when he's ready to take the field about an hour to 45 minutes before first pitch, he listens to motivational speaking podcasts from Eric Thomas, a critically acclaimed author and world-renowned speaker. And you can find Thomas's flagship podcast, The Secret to Success with CJ and Eric Thomas, on Spotify. Do you listen to any motivational speaking podcasts, Michael?
I don't know what classifies as motivational necessarily, but like I do listen to TED Talks every once in a while, and TED Talks Daily is on Spotify. And that's something.
Do they motivate you?
A little.
That's a motivation.
Sometimes.
That's a motivational speaking podcast.
Yeah. A lot of weird things motivate me, I suppose. So that would open the genre to a much wider array of things, I think. But
yeah,
including Chris Paddock's starts, they motivate me.
They sustain you, actually.
Yeah.
It's an important but subtle distinction.
Yes.
Anyways, so TED Talks Daily, that is available on Spotify. And speaking of Chris Paddock, we might as well dive into the NL Rookie of the Year discussion, because he was your preseason pick.
He was.
He has very much vindicated you. My preseason pick, Victor Robles of the Washington Nationals, not so much, although he's been perfectly adequate.
Yeah, he's
but if the season ended today, would Paddock get your vote for NL Rookie of the Year?
Absolutely. I mean, I guess it's tough to judge whether I'm just doubling down on my own earlier opinion or whether he's just been insane. And he's definitely been insane. As we speak, I think he's given up 3 home runs to the New York Yankees. So we'll see how that start goes against, a heavy hitting lineup in a very small AL park. But the 2 home runs I did see from Luke Voit and DJ LeMahieu were extreme no-doubters. I did not see the Giovanni Urshela one yet. But, it didn't matter what park they were hitting in. Those were both gone. So, but yes, in short, I'd definitely vote for Chris Paddock if I had a ballot. Who would you vote for? NL Rookie.
I would go for the man that Chris Paddock antagonized earlier this year, the other precocious rookie in Peter Alonso, who has been unequivocally the best rookie position player in the National League who's played every day. Among National League rookies with 150 plate appearances, he leads in WRC+. He already has 17 home runs. His isolated power is well over 300. He has taken a step backwards after a torrid April, but he's still been an exceptional hitter, really one of the 15 best hitters in the National League. But coming back to Paddock for a second, he's been electric. There's no questioning that. Do you actually think he's been better? Do you think he's been the best National League rookie pitcher? Because you could make an argument that Mike Soroka of the Atlanta Braves has been even better.
Man, yeah, he has been incredible. It's a good question too, because I don't think Soroka is going to be handled
as cautiously.
Yeah. So there's a good chance that Paddock just won't pitch in September at all. Just got completely shut down like the Nationals did with Strasburg. Paddock's just coming off of Tommy John surgery. He has not pitched a lot of innings.
He hasn't pitched on regular rest once this year yet.
Mm-hmm. So the odds of him, he could sustain excellence, but whether he pitches enough innings to make it worth it, that's up for debate. But yeah, Soroka's been remarkable, and I'm not sure whether to fully buy into it because honestly, the pace he's been on it seems unsustainable, but I don't know, man. He could win.
So many rookies in the National League could win. Austin Riley has been up for about 20 minutes, and he already has almost half the WAR that Peter Alonso does. Austin Riley's played, I think, 13 games, and he leads all NL rookies in win probability added. Keston Hiura's up. This crop of rookies is truly sensational. We've mentioned this in previous episodes, but Alex Verdugo just ever so quietly putting up a 130 WRC plus playing every day for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Mm-hmm. It's remarkable. And that's I picked Alonso because he's been the best, I guess, in the aggregate thus far. But I mean, come October, it could be any one of 5 dudes.
Yeah. Give the American League just one of these people, for God's sake. The American League is devoid of any good rookie talent.
Excuse me, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. begs to differ. Sorry. See, the American League has quality, if not quantity.
Yeah.
Well, the National League has both quality and quantity.
Yeah. It's also, I guess, the AL got a bit of a later start, I suppose. There was some service time manipulation dance going on, as you got with like Keston, I suppose. You call him up later and avoid the Super 2 deadline as well, and Austin Riley. But that's the story for like all AL rookies, other than Vogelbach, I guess.
So moving on then, let's talk about the National League Cy Young candidates. My preseason pick was Noah Syndergaard. Yikes. Your preseason pick was Max Scherzer. Are you sticking with that? Who gets your National League Cy Young vote at the 1/3 of the season mark?
Yeah, again, it's difficult because by fielding independent pitching numbers, Scherzer is like quite deserving of yet another one. But he's just been like beatable by ERA standards. Like he's still striking out guys at a crazy level. He's still not walking people. He's being Max Scherzer. He's just like running into really bad luck. So it's whether I'm going with him because I think he'll turn it around and his peripheral numbers will line up with his actual results, or if I'm going a different direction and, jumping full in on Paddock and like just picking Paddock to win NL Cy Young, because why not?
Well, he's only thrown coming into today 51 1/3 innings. That's like 25 fewer than Scherzer.
I think we eventually need to hit a point where we care far less about innings pitched, because like Chris Sale probably should have won by now, and the only thing that was holding him back was innings pitched. Like he just can't manage. He didn't manage a full workload last year, and he was still the best starter. Is that fair?
In the American League?
Yeah.
You could argue that Trevor Bauer was better.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole was insane.
Yep. Yeah. That's the thing. If you throw 155 innings, you have to have like a sub-2 ERA in a climate where guys are pitching at elite levels over 220 innings, Like, Max Scherzer doesn't win because of the volume. He wins 3 Cy Young Awards because he throws outrageous volume while also putting up like a FIP of 2.5.
Yeah.
Having said that, I myself would give my vote to Hyun-jin Ryu, who has been not only the best starter on a very, very stacked Los Angeles Dodgers team that is rife with good pitching, but his ERA is 1.65 through 10 starts, which is like more than a half run better than the next best qualified starter. In terms of FIP, if you want to go by that, he's been the second best in the National League behind only Scherzer. His strikeout to walk ratio right now is 15.5 to 1, and he is far and away the leader in win probability added. He's been absolutely electric. I'm skeptical he can sustain it over an amount of innings that would garner him legitimate consideration, because he has dealt with a litany of injury problems throughout his career. But right now, he has been absolutely bananas good.
Yeah. Doesn't walk anybody ever. Not once. I mean, except once.
He walked a guy once. Yeah. It was a Thursday.
I bet he has more hits like for himself
than walks allowed. Yeah, I'd buy that.
Yeah.
He can swing it a little bit.
Yeah, he hit a double recently. It was pretty nice. But yeah, I like that pick a lot. I hope he does sustain it, to be honest. He's one of those guys that like always seemed good, but had these kind of freakish injuries.
Yeah, it's never been an effectiveness issue with Ryu. It's always been durability. Mm-hmm. And he revamped his repertoire a little bit this year. Classic, like lefty embracing a cutter as he gets a little bit older, and it's worked out like gangbusters. He's been suppressing home runs at a ridiculous rate, obviously pounding the strike zone like nobody's business. And I mean, it's pretty unbelievable and a testament to how dominant he's been that he could be the best starter on a team that also has Walker Buehler and Clayton Kershaw and Rich Hill.
I was hoping Buehler would force my hand a little bit more, but he's been fine. Mm-hmm.
Everyone's been fine. That's why the Dodgers are 36 and 18.
Yeah. The results,
except for their bullpen, but whatever.
The results of him being like skipping most of spring training seem to have pushed into April a bit, but he's settling into a groove now.
Buehler, that is.
Yes. Yeah, only didn't make a single start in spring, I don't believe. Yeah. So.
And MVP then. Let's move on. Your preseason pick was Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals, who's had a good, if unspectacular, sophomore season. And my pick was Bryce Harper, who has been decidedly mediocre through the first couple months of his tenure in Philadelphia. Who would get your pick today?
Has to be Cody Bellinger, right? Like there's
literally no other option.
And
you would discredit yourself if even if you said Christian Yelich, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
And that's insane because Christian Yelich has been so good.
Yeah. Christian Yelich, again, we've talked about this on previous episodes, but like dating back to the last All-Star break, he has been like essentially Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cody Bellinger has been better this year, at least. And yeah, I can't see it any other way. And honestly, this pacing again seems a bit ridiculous, but it does seem somewhat sustainable. That I don't see him slowing down a lot. He'll hit like a slump every once in a while because everybody does over a 162 game season. But yeah, he's proven himself as the key slugger in an elite Dodgers lineup.
Very much so. He has already provided more value by Fangraphs WAR in 2019 than Giancarlo Stanton did last year for the New York Yankees over 158 games when he was really, really good. I think he had 38 home runs last year and put up like a WRC plus of 127. You cannot overstate how ridiculous, bonkers, insane, preposterous Cody Bellinger has been. He has 20 home runs. He leads the National League in hits. He's hitting 382 and he's slugging 770. Like, looking at his stat line, it evokes Barry Bonds. That's like ripped out of Barry Bonds' baseball reference page 2001 through 2004. Yeah. You know, this slash line that he's currently rocking.
He's also transitioned into an elite fielder.
Yeah.
Like he's really good at the outfield. Really good. And really fast.
He's a good base runner. He does everything well.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
I'm relatively certain that he's 90th percentile at base running by like StatCast. Mm-hmm. Sprint speed. Those fancy stats.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Love the fancy stats.
90th percentile in the league. And like Cody Bellinger doesn't look like a fast guy.
He's
looks
long.
like a tall guy.
He looks like a gazelle.
Yeah, but like those guys are never fast. I'm one of those guys.
Gazelles
I'm not
are
fast.
Yeah, you're not.
No.
I feel like Cody Bellinger could probably beat you in a foot race. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
I feel like David Ortiz could beat me in a foot race. That's my opinion.
That I would pay to see.
Yeah.
That I would definitely pay to see.